Hey fish fans, it's Raina, Mermaid, and
Sean.
Merwrangler Sean is what we call him. Not Merman Sean or Mermaid Boy.
Right, or Hey
Mermaid,
You.
Or Mermaid Man.
Yeah, Mermaid Man.
For people who don't know, Sean and I actually co-own Halifax Mermaids and Canadian Mermaids, which is really cool. And Sean edits all of the videos that you see here. He films them, he edits them. Most of the stuff on my YouTube channel from this past year, Sean has actually been making.
I'm getting better,
Really
slowly.
awesome.
Yeah.
He's our Merwrangler extraordinaire. So today, Sean and I want to tell you about a recent festival we worked called the Digby Scallop Days Festival. And before we get into that, I'm going to ask that you please like and subscribe. Click the bell if you want to get notifications in your email. That works the best if you're someone who doesn't log on to YouTube very often and you want a little reminder that there's a new video. If you do log on to YouTube and you check it every day or two, you probably don't want to hit the bell, it'll drive you nuts. I will say I got one complaint from one person about this little blurb that I give at the beginning of videos. You can always just scroll past it. I have to give out these blurbs every time because these videos don't make themselves and they don't pay for themselves, and this is monetizing YouTube, subscribing, like this is how we pay the bills for the videos. That being said, please check us out on patreon.com/RainaMermaid because for as little as $2 a month, you can get exclusive early access content. We're putting up all these cool exclusive behind the scenes. People are getting to see my new tail before everybody else and the progress photos of it. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
I'm really excited about that. And early access to these videos. Also, I've got tons of tutorials on there. There's business planning materials. There's also program planning materials, things that you can print out and use for gigs, and extra merchandise. So check it out. It's all awesome. It's great, and it helps us continue to make these videos. I think that's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Digby.
Digby was awesome.
It was the best gig we've ever worked in our lives.
Well, it was just super chill, and the pirates were amazing, and the whole town came together. It's like the entire town showed up and threw a festival.
A
It was
party.
It was awesome.
We were contacted for Digby 6 months before the event happened. We knew of the event, but we didn't know much about Digby.
Yep.
It's an area where people go for whale watching in Nova Scotia. We drove through it. They also hold a rally for bikers called the Wharf Rat Rally, which is really popular. And it's sort of one of these blips on the radar that if you don't know about it, you don't know about it.
But that's what's so cool about it, though, is that it's this remote fishing village that's just awesome, and it's got scallop boats everywhere. The tides are incredible. You get down by the ocean, and the sights are just phenomenal.
It's the highest tides in the world.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, there's cliffs, and there's ocean, and there's people, and there's so much food, and they're eating scallops right there on the boardwalk, and it's crazy how much food and entertainment, and then they brought out all these people, and then everyone stays downtown and just has a blast. It was great.
But we didn't know any of this to start. We just knew that our friends, the pirates, the Maritime Pirate Alliance, had recommended us for this event. We were contacted by this lovely woman, and we had this great email back and forth, and then we heard nothing.
Yeah.
So we assumed that we did not get it, or maybe we were too expensive, because, you know, we have to charge a lot. We're going to a place for a festival to work the entire weekend. It's close to 3 hours away from where we live, so we need to stay there. There's travel, there's food, there's gas, there's paying for your time for being there and not being able to be back in the city working multiple gigs in a weekend. It has to be worth it for us, but we still try to work within budgets because we know most of these places have a shoestring budget. Canada does not have the same kind of festival culture that the States has. We do have a lot of mini things, but we don't have many Renaissance festivals. That's not something like on the East Coast.
We don't have the
Canada.
population.
No.
There's only 500,000 in the city we've got, and another 500,000 outside of it. So there's 1 million people.
That's it.
And that's it for a whole province. I mean, there was 1 million people that showed up in Ontario like last 3 years. They just, boom, all of a sudden.
There are more people in California than all of Canada, so that just gives you a sense of what we're working with. So we heard nothing from this person, and it turned out she was actually battling something incredibly serious in the hospital, and still wanted us for the event. So our friend, he's become our friend now, but we didn't know who he was at the time, Brian. Hi Brian, if you're watching this. So we started chatting with Brian, and there was a bit of back and forth, and they decided they were gonna hire us. So we did all that, we signed the contract, didn't hear a whole lot, and it was just one of those things where it was changing hands, and this can be a little nerve-wracking for a performer if you don't have a rapport with the client to start with. You've never been to the place, you've never seen the festival, so we were going in dark and we were a little nervous. Originally it was going to be Kristen and I, but then a few weeks out Kristen had to cancel, so we had Victoria. And Victoria has been a mermaid with us since she was 16. She's 22 now, and she has a son, a little merling. You've probably seen, we've done photos of her when she was pregnant. It was super cute. So Victoria is still getting back into mermaid stuff, and she's also an amazing artist. She has an Instagram account you can check out, the Fluke Boutique. She makes silicone gills, she's working on gap wrap, she's working on headdresses. She's incredibly talented. So we were a little nervous going into this blind, and we had Victoria, who's still getting back into things, and she was going to be away from her son for a weekend, and we were nervous about that. We didn't know how that was going to go. I was just kind of a bundle of nerves. We've had a lot of stressful gigs this summer.
Oh yeah, we've done things we've got into before, and sometimes it works out great, and sometimes it doesn't follow through exactly. So
Raina was really irritable and cranky.
Yeah, I know things worked out.
I didn't think I was going to have fun. I honestly thought it was just going to be nonstop work, and then I'd be plastering on the smile and just trying to do my best to get through it. Please remember, I still have broken toes at this point. My toes, and they're still messed up while I'm making this video. So I was nervous about that too. So we drive down after day jobs, and Victoria says a tearful goodbye to her little boy, and we felt really guilty for taking
He didn't
his
want mom to
mom
go.
away.
Yeah.
It was so sad.
Yeah.
We get there, and we are staying in this little, what would you call it? It's not really a hotel. It was kind of like a...
It was kind of like a bed and breakfast, but also it was right there at the waterfront, so it was just cool.
Multiple units?
Yeah,
So it was like a little apartment, really,
Right.
but it was 4 guests. So we actually found out that we were staying there with the pirates, and the pirates are just, we love them.
So much fun.
They invited us to go get supper, and they said in their best pirate voices that we could have some rum.
Yeah. And they're in character even when they're not in character.
They are. We
Yeah.
love these guys so much. So we knew them, but didn't know them this well yet. So we decided to go out with them Friday night and just picked up pizza. And we have a thing here called donaires. We got pizza and donaires.
That's awesome.
We went back to their room, and we just chatted with them about what it's like working in this industry. And I didn't realize how much we needed to talk to other people. We're very isolated here. We're one of the only mermaid companies in all of Canada. There's just a handful of us, and we have lasted the longest. We're the first in many areas. There's a handful of people who were doing it solo before us, just Canadian Mermaid Marie, but we were the first registered business according to Stats Canada.
Yep.
So it's been a lonely journey, and it was really nice to just hang out with these guys. So who do we've got? We've got Captain Longstride and Scully
Yep.
and Captain Jack and what does Dave go by? Captain Dave?
Yes.
Dave. We'll put it down below.
We love
Whatever
Dave.
we'll put
Yeah.
your picture whatever you are.
Yeah.
So we're hanging out with these guys, and we are just feeling so validated, talking to other performers who deal with the same stuff we've been dealing with, and then we're talking about all the joys from it. They do hospital visits, they visit sick kids, they do a lot of kid-oriented work, and that was really
Yeah.
nice to just hear from
They
them.
had so much fun with the kids, and we'll go through in detail on some of the stuff they've done, but I mean, they went around and just spontaneously hung out with the kids.
They were
everybody.
incredibly great
Yeah.
method actors, and they were really good at improvising. As mermaids, we have to do a lot of behavioral management because we're sitting in these tails and we've got 30 kids, 40, 50 kids, and we're just trying to get them through the lineup, or we're trying to swim with them and get them to behave, and we're trying to act in character, but we don't always get to like really commit to our character. But man, the pirates totally commit. So while we're hanging out with them, there's fireworks going on, there's a live band, people are just wandering the streets, and it feels like something out of a movie because it's so chill. So we're kind of like, okay, like this is neat. So we go to bed, and we don't have to work very early, so we actually sleep through breakfast. Our organizer Brian was texting us, he's like, hey, come on to Subway, I've got food for you. And
We were
slept through
exhausted.
it.
Yeah.
So we spent the morning and the early afternoon just checking out the vendors. There were some really amazing vendors, and while we were doing that, the pirates were doing a kids parade. And so we're going through the vendors, and I see this guy, and he kind of looks a little bit like David Bowie. He has 2 different colored eyes, and he has this really amazing art tent set up, and I saw one of his prints that he made specifically for the Scallop Days Festival, and it's the surreal scallop. I haven't taken it out of my packaging yet because I'm buying a frame for it and I don't want the cats to damage it. So I see this and I love it. Dude, I love this, and I'm chatting with them, and I'm gonna have to come back. I'm working today, but tomorrow before my shift, I want to buy one. And me, I'm feeling really good lately because I've got the little verified check on Instagram, and I'm trying to share the love. Listen, man, we'll get a picture
I'll promote
together.
you,
I'll
yeah.
promote you. I'll put it on my Facebook. but we walk away, Sean, I don't think he needs your promotion. I don't think he needs that. And I'm not cluing into what Sean's trying to tell me. So I'm totally ignorant to this.
Well, I think it was actually Victoria.
Well, no, you said something the first day, and then the second day Victoria told me.
Right.
Anyway, turns out Buddy's on the Trailer Park Boys.
Right. It's this little show.
Jacob Rolfe, and he goes by Jacob Smith or something in the show. I'm sorry, I don't watch Trailer Park Boys.
We'll put a picture up.
So we'll throw a picture up. But yeah, so I get my picture with him, and he does his Jacob face, which is this kind of funny face. And here I am being, I'll get you lots of mermaid followers, and dude's already a famous actor. Like, how could I embarrass myself?
A lot of people know him. Yeah.
Oh man, amazing vendors there, beautiful artists. I ended up buying lots of jewelry. There were paintings that I bought. I bought this beautiful wood piece of a mermaid. It's like a silhouette. I really love it, and I lost my phone at this shop, and thank God it was still there, because I've never done that before, and it was the first time I'd ever done that.
It was a small town, to be honest. I mean, I would leave my camera sometimes at the side when I'm doing B-roll, and I wouldn't even worry about anybody taking it. It's one of these small towns.
Do you remember?
It's awesome.
Do you remember the town in Edward Scissorhands? And everybody was just...
Everybody knew each other.
Yeah, it was like that. And it was really picturesque.
Everybody took care of the town, and it was just
We
beautiful.
would go into stores and, mermaids, thank you so much for coming to see us. You're going to make the event so great. Wow.
Really?
And people were stopping us in the streets to take our photos, and we weren't even in tails yet. It was really cool. So we get acquainted with everybody, and then it's time for us to do the main parade. So Victoria and I have spent my whole summer in fabric tails because of my feet, but I gave Victoria my Finfolk Classic Clio because it wasn't getting any use from me. I love Finfolk.
And they're great for parades.
They're great.
Yeah.
They're great for stuff like that, but I found the tail with my limitations to be too difficult for me to use. So I was like, why is it just sitting here? I haven't used it in here.
And it was perfect for that parade.
And it was perfect for Victoria. She wore it for the parade.
She rocked it, yeah.
I wore my Mer Tailor. We had so much fun, and the pirates, it was hard for us to stay in character and remember to wave to people because we were so stuck on watching the pirates. They were so entertaining.
Yeah.
They were so funny. Scully's like eating food off the ground, trying to be funny.
Skewering it with a sword, and then they're firing off their rifles while they're parading.
Drinking their rum, and kids are coming up to them, and this little girl dressed like a pirate with like curly red hair runs up, and Captain Jack picks her up and puts her on his shoulder and like parading her around, and she's waving like the queen. My nephew Henry came out to see us with his grandparents. Yeah. It was really sweltering hot, but we had so much fun. We're just waving to everybody.
The whole town came out. The whole town.
We had so many ideas for next year too. The parade was really fun. We got stuck in front of this truck that played the same song over and over. It was just the one.
Which was
same
fine.
Song.
No one minded at all.
It was just over and over and over and over.
It was great.
So after the parade, we went and transitioned to do a meet and greet. And the idea was that there's this big tent. There'll be the mermaids, the pirates, and there were princesses because they had a pageant, and there was a Scallop Days queen, and then she had her ladies in waiting, which were princesses, and they're all these really lovely high school and junior high girls, and they have children attendants and stuff. It was really sweet.
They're awesome. Yeah.
Very wonderful girls getting involved in their community like that. And we were gonna do this story, and we were gonna do a costume contest, but what happened is we're new. They've seen the pirates, they've seen the princesses, they've never seen the mermaids. It was just a lineup of kids just waiting to see mermaids. So we are being really sneaky. Because we used fabric tails, we could get them off and on really easily. We didn't have to lube up and get moved around. We're sitting there, and we have so many kids and so many kids and so many kids. So we actually had to skip the costume contest because we started running out of time, and it was a shame because some of these kids were so
so cute.
Up. They were so beautiful. Thankfully, people were really understanding about it. No one complained, but I did feel bad about that. We gave out 500 postcards. The pirates decided to do this story, the dirty, stinky, smelly, no good pirate or something. So it's a children's story, and they read the story, and then Scully would hold up a sign, and the kids would yell out the phrase, and they're acting it out, and we're acting it out, and we're messing it up, and so the pirates just keep improvising.
They were
it's
great.
So funny. It's so funny. And then after that, we got group pictures with the kids, and then Scully just lays out on the floor or on the ground in front of everybody.
With all the princesses and everybody there, he's right front and center, just passed out.
Oh yeah, it was so cute. We got a couple pictures of them carrying us, the mermaids. It was really sweet. So while we're doing this, it's supposed to be a 2-hour block of us doing this, and anytime a client hires us for something like that, it doesn't matter if people are done and move on. If they paid for us to be sitting there for 2 hours, they expect us to sit for 2 hours. So at about an hour and a half, everybody was gone. They moved on to the next thing. And we were just sitting there, and Brian comes over and says, hey, there's a reservation for you and the pirates for dinner at the restaurant. Oh, wow,
Sure.
okay. We're used to people giving us gift cards or packaged meals or something, so we were like, a restaurant reservation, and caught us off guard.
It's nice to take a break.
Yeah,
It was a busy day.
he's like, yeah, so just head on up there. And we're, well, we still have half an hour. And he said, no, head on up. So that caught us off guard. So we go up there, and we're still in character, but we don't have the tails on. The pirates are completely in character, and they start improvising with other guests at this restaurant, and it is so funny. It's so funny. So we have some pictures and clips of that, but the one big one I wanted to tell you about, and we won't play the whole clip because it's too long. They start singing Barrett's Privateers, which is like, it's a Nova Scotian song, and you get clapping, you get stomping your feet, and they're singing it. At the very end, this older woman comes up to Scully and puts her hands on him like this, and his eyes go way back. He's improvising, and he goes, oh, don't touch me! This poor old lady just jumped. It's on my Instagram stories. If you look at my Instagram features for August, it's there. It's so funny, and it's just, his eyes couldn't possibly go back. So this sweet older lady, she had this sand dollar necklace on, and I told her how much I loved it, and she gave it to me. It was so great. So we had some great food. The pirates, Sean and I don't eat seafood. Nothing to do with mermaids. We just don't eat seafood. The pirates all had scallops and everything, and we got pictures, and we just had so much fun being silly with them. So they're telling us, like, okay, listen, we're gonna have an after party later. It won't get too crazy because everyone has to get up early, but we're gonna have an after party over above this store. You know, we'll have some rum, we'll play some music. So come to the after party. And we're just like, man, this is the best gig we've ever had. We've been fed. We're staying in this great place. Everyone's so nice to us, and now there's a party. Like, this is not typically, like, Sean and I have work gigs where we're working 12-hour days and
we're exhausted after it's done.
Like, we're dead. We're in terrible accommodations.
There's nothing left.
The people are forgetting to feed us. It's middle of winter and we're freezing cold with wet hair. Like, we have done, and we're not getting paid very well for some of these gigs, right? We're trying to climb your way up the ladder there, but anyway. So before we go to this, we go and watch these fire performers that they had also been hired.
They were great,
and it turned out that one of the main fire performers is the acro partner of Mermaid Kristen, so that was cool. They knew each other. So they put on this amazing performance. There's a band. There's all these really, really sweet little kids, and I made quite a lot of friends. I kind of got in the middle of parents telling their kids it was time to go home, and the kids like, I want to stay with the mermaid, and I'm just, oh my, what do I do? You have to listen to your parents. It got so awkward. But yeah, the fire performers were amazing, just super, and really funny.
Yeah, they were really great.
They were really funny. And then there were more fireworks, and there was bands, and there was food. So after that finishes, we go over to the after party. What'd you think of the after party?
Didn't know what to expect at first. I thought, you know, it's pirates, so this is going to probably be pretty loud. It's going to be pretty rough, right?
Now, we have become, because of this experience, such close friends with Brian, the man who hosted it and who was our client. So Brian, I love you, but I have to be honest about our first impressions. I'm a very open and new agey person. Sean is a very practical, to the point, very logical person. So when I walked in and I smelled sage and I saw crystals and I saw tarot cards, I got excited. I was like, oh, this is an interesting party. Sean sat on the couch with his camera and his phone and started
I was looking at
photos.
We finished a photo shoot just before we ended up going there too. And we got these great shots of the pirates on the beach. And so we had all these awesome shots and slow-mos and all these amazing things. And this is one of the best parts about Nova Scotia is we may live in the middle of nowhere, but we live in the middle of nowhere. Like, you get these shots that are absolutely spectacular and in ways that nobody else can recreate. Because
I forgot about the photo shoot, so I will backtrack. We crammed in so much, and I have notes on my phone, and I still forgot about it. So I will backtrack. Before we went to this party, this new agey party, we did have a photo shoot. The water was absolutely freezing cold, but we were like, we never get to spend time with the pirates. We're always working. We never have downtime. So we got some great shots. Slow-mo, promotional stuff.
All kinds of stuff.
We had this funny moment where they were coaching us on how to be mermaid pirates, and so Victoria and I were taking turns with the swords and stuff, and we're pointing swords, and we've got the pirate hats on, and Captain Jack gives me his hat, and no matter what I do, it keeps falling down my face. So it's so funny.
I think your head was a little big for it, that's all.
Because I had my crown and my gear on.
And all the makeup and everything done, and you want to mess it up.
And they're still improvising. It's like we're their only audience, and they're still improvising and being funny.
They're
like,
always
it was so sweet. So back to the after party. Like, this was all so much fun.
We all went there.
We're riding high. So I come in, oh yeah, this is my jam. Brian is doing tarot card reading, and I've had my tarot cards done. I own a tarot card pack myself, and they're every time I get my cards read, they're extremely accurate. It's really funny, actually. They tend to tell me exactly what I already know, and it almost feels like a lecture from the spirit world. It's like, okay, all right, I hear you, I got you. Brian does energy work, which I've never experienced before. So he did some sage smudging, and then he did some energy work on me. And part of that was putting his hand on my head, and then he put it on my chest. And I swear to God, when he put his hand on my chest and he kind of just gave me a little push, I just had some kind of experience. I don't know what it was, but it was just, I was carrying around a lot of bad stuff and it just went boom. So we had that happen, and Brian had some cool things from his shop on the table, and one of them was a dowsing pendant, which if you've ever seen Vision of Escaflowne, if you grew up in my age group, Hitomi had one, and I was obsessed with them as a kid, so I really wanted one. So I latch onto this, and I'm having so much fun, and he's explaining to me how to use it, and right away it's really responding to me, and I'm freaking out, and it's so trippy. And Scully starts making up a song about he called it my shaky rock, and he was like, shaky to the left, shaky to the right. Like,
they don't turn off. They're always on.
They never stop being pirates. It's so funny. So I had a lot of fun with that, and at the end, Brian wanted to do some energy work on Sean, and God love him, he was open to it. But it was really, really, really funny to see Brian put his hand on Sean's head, and
I felt better.
Sean just be like,
cool.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, when's the next time that's gonna happen?
Yeah.
You don't know.
He was a good sport about it.
Yeah, no, the whole thing was great, and the people were great, and we sat there and we looked at photos, and we hung out all night, and people drank.
Listen to Billie
pop
Eilish.
and,
Like it was on
just
his
so
playlist.
mellow. It was the most mellow pirate
It was really
party.
cool. Everything was chakras and crystals and oils and sage, and it was just really unique. What a unique experience. And Brian is just
Relaxed.
This is the man who just exudes happiness, and being around him just makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And who can say that about a client? We loved him. He was great.
We're probably more relaxed when we finished than when we started, which is the complete opposite of how these things work.
So we head back to our place, and we go to sleep, and we get to sleep in a little bit. And while we're sleeping in, the pirates are doing this breakfast at
Subway.
With the kids. And our big thing for the day is that we're going to be doing a big swim. So before we do the big swim, we go around to the vendors once more. We're trying to pack everything up and say our goodbyes to the pirates. We get some last pictures with them. I lost my phone, so we're running around looking for my phone.
Buy last few things, some souvenirs. The shops
Gifts
are incredible.
For people. We got a gift for your stepmom.
Yeah, stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Oh man, you can't. I didn't plan to spend that kind of money, but I'm never going to find any Christmas gifts.
Yeah, everything. It was great.
So then we go to do the swim, and there are 250 children.
It's busy.
And there's 2 mermaids.
Yeah, it's busy.
Holy
The lifeguards are panicking because there's so many kids, and they're holding them at bay. Get the lifeguards, all organized, and get the mermaids in the pool, and they want to get everyone where they are, but they're looking at the parking lot, and it's packed.
We had the costume contest again, and only one person came in the costume, and she was decked to the nines.
She was great.
And she won all 3 prizes.
Yeah.
She's really sweet.
Next year, she'll probably win again.
She was really cute. Her mom, we saw her mom getting her ready in the parking lot. It was really cute.
It was really cute.
So we do this swim, and it was a bit hard for me because of my toes. It was 2 hours, and the entire time I had absolutely terrible foot cramps. So what Victoria and I would do is we would take turns between the big pool and the little kids pool, because when you were in the little kids pool you could just sit, and it was really shallow. All the kids would come over and get their pictures, and we would just take turns flipping between the 2. But at one point there were just so many people in the pool.
The pool was packed.
I couldn't move.
Yeah.
And I just started joking. I was like, okay kids, carry me. And they did. They just picked me up and pulled me along.
Yep.
And Mom took a video and posted to Facebook and said that I looked like air traffic control, because I started trying to play some games with them because I felt like I couldn't get around to everybody, so I organized some games to encourage everybody.
They were great. The kids were great. Yeah.
It was so many children.
Yeah.
It didn't last that busy for the entire 2 hours because the water was cold.
Yep.
So it was okay. We made it work. I need 4 mermaids next time we do it.
Yeah.
It was our first time doing it, right? We had no idea what to expect.
Yeah, even the organizers, you never know what to expect with these things.
Victoria used a silicone tail that our friend Kate from Water Song Tails, it's a closed company now, a tail that she bought used that was made by them, and she repainted it to be her colors, and it looks really, really beautiful.
It was so
on her.
beautiful, yeah.
The kids were just amazing. They just gave us so many hugs, so much love, just so much.
It was wonderful.
I felt this is why I do this.
Mm-hmm,
I mean, I'm 33. In a few weeks, it's gonna be 11 years that I have been doing this.
Yeah.
11.
Yep.
And I get pretty burnt out. A lot of this feels like a chore at times.
Sometimes you're just tired. Sometimes you've given everything you can
old.
give. Yeah.
I'm getting old for spending all my time with little kids. Like, it's hard. And this just reminded me, no, this is why we do it. We're bringing magic.
Yeah.
And something that I will say to other professional mermaids out there, it is really good to get out of your area. Because in Halifax, we are the Halifax Mermaids. Everybody knows us. We're not that big a deal anymore. People still come out to see us. We still sell out. Everything around that is fine. But the interaction from the kids is not the same.
Right.
When we go somewhere we've never been before, we are superstars.
Yeah,
It's
and
amazing.
people from small towns are so genuine, and they're honestly, what you see is what you get, and we're so used to these days being a little bit more hardened around people, and we're a little bit more, worried about what they're going to do or say to you, and you have to keep your guard up. You go to these small towns though, and your guard's not up
They're
the
just
same
so
way.
loving. Another really fun thing we did that day was a children's treasure hunt, and the pirates and I, with my land legs, led the kids around this park,
So
and
cute.
every station had treasures, and they
Yeah.
were good treasures.
Different
Like,
treasures
Brian
everywhere.
went out, one had freezies, one had chalk,
Yep.
one had pirate pendants, one had mermaid tears.
Yep.
One had a scallop shell that they could go take and paint. And when we gave out the mermaid tears and the kids had to fish in a bucket for them, they were just enthralled, and they just held on to that like
Yeah.
it was their little special
So many
treasure.
treasures. You know that they're going to be talking about this for the next year.
We got so many emails, so much fan mail, so many comments, so many great reviews from people coming to see that.
But there was a lot of people who all pitched in with a lot of effort and a lot of good
It
ideas.
takes a village. It really does.
And it did. Their entire group, everybody in the entire town pitched in. And you could tell because there was so much love put into it.
It was really, really sweet. We really had a fun time. We loved it. Before we'd even started, Brian was, we want you back next year. And I'm thinking, man.
That was 5 minutes in.
5 minutes in. You've got to see how we do this
Yeah,
first.
we
Make
should-
sure you like
We
us.
should work first, right?
He's, no, the pool's already filled. We want you.
But then also, the last time we saw him when we were at the pool, he was saying, we got to do this again next year. And it's just, he got it from the get-go, and I think it took us a minute to understand what was going to happen, and it was so much fun. I mean, as performers and as the guy who was holding the camera the whole time, it was a blast. And everybody, you could see on their face how much fun they were having.
It's different to work with passionate people. For some people, this is their job and it's a chore. We love all of our clients, but definitely some of them, this is their 9 to 5 and they're tired. I don't want to run another festival. I don't want to run another beach party. I don't want to run another Canada Day. It's rough on people. It's just a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, especially if you're helping a lot of people that don't necessarily give back the same way that you're giving. But in this community, you could
It was
see
so
it.
collaborative.
Everybody gave.
It was amazing.
And everybody was there to have a good time.
11 years and we've really not had an experience like this. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, every experience is unique, but it was
Every
just...
gig has value. We meet a lot of amazing people.
This one was different all over
This was
again.
just really different.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had so much fun. I actually kept saying to Victoria, this would be a really cool place to hold a mermaid convention.
Yeah?
Like
if we could get people there, there's no airport.
Have
but
mermaids come to this event. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. We loved it. We're going back next year. It was a few hours drive home, and we just could
it's
not
not
stop
that
talking.
far. It's only a few hours away.
Yeah.
2.5 hours
Hey,
away.
and you could go whale watching afterwards. Sean and I went whale watching for our 9th anniversary.
Spectacular whale
They came
watching
right
spot.
after the boat, right whales. You could look at you're not allowed to touch them, but you could. Like that's how close they were.
And the whole bay is filled with them. And it's just a beautiful time of year. I mean, it's as hot as it is in Florida here right now, and it's going to get more beautiful as soon as the fall leaves hit. I mean, it's another tourist season all over again. We have the best fall in all of North America. It's warm, the ocean's warm, the breeze is nice. They're getting snow on the west coast right now, and we're just getting
Thank
heat.
goodness it's a hot then.
Yeah.
So that was our Digby experience. It was amazing. A few little housekeeping items and catching up with us a little bit. We're about to celebrate our 12th anniversary.
Yeah.
Do I even look old enough to have a 12th anniversary? Don't answer that. This time of year is really, really hard on me because I have spent 4 or 5 months nonstop as a mermaid. Sean and I were looking at our invoices and we've done like 102 gigs now.
There's a lot this year.
It's
yeah.
been nuts. and my
I have
toes.
the footage to prove it, too.
Yeah, my toes are busted. My hair is a mess. I'm going to see my hairdresser tomorrow. She's fixing this for me. I just had a facial. I've had so many sunburns. I've got sunspots. I've got pimples from the chlorine, dryness. I've got everything going on. Thank God for my esthetician.
But I have 2.5 times the footage we've got up until like the past 10 years. I've doubled and then doubled again how much footage we've got.
It's crazy.
Just this
so
year
many
alone.
videos for you.
It's crazy how much we got done in a year. We
We're
just don't
trying
have
to
time
get
to
them
do it
out.
all.
It's
Yeah.
just a lot to get them edited from. We've got so many things coming out.
And so many more ideas.
Yeah. Just a little sidebar, I did use my Mertailer tails for this entire thing, and we are going to be doing a video specifically about how to use fabric tails in a professional setting and troubleshooting common concerns, because I think you should be using fabric tails for pro gigs, and I do not think you should be lowering your prices.
Things have changed.
We're going to have a video specifically about that. Also, if you check out my reviews on these tails, I've got loads of reviews and comparisons, and if you want one yourself, capital RAINA 10 gets you 10% off the fabric skins and any other fabric items that he sells, clothing too.
At mertailor.com.
It's great. We use that money to roll back into the video. It's how we buy things like the backdrop, the camera, the lights, the microphones, things like that. Anyway, thank you so much. Please leave us a comment. Let us know, have you ever been to a festival like that? What sort of festivals do they have where you're from? Do you think you could put a mermaid in one of those festivals, or do you work at some of them? Do you think there's any benefit to having a video about pitching this kind of stuff to a festival so you can be working with them? We kind of had an in with ours because of the pirates, but we still have to sell ourselves. You still have to make sure that it's worth their money, right?
You gotta put yourself out there, otherwise no one will know where you are.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment, best fishes.